Aqui, ó.
Lijkt wel een beetje. Oh, daarachter iets.
Stakio. And this one, there is a trail. Then there's a trail going in behind here, over the hill. It goes to a Praia da Caveira, which means Skull Beach. Skull Beach is totally deserted. It's quite difficult to get there by boat, and it's also difficult to get there by trail. So it's a very good beach if you want to be totally on your own and be king of the beach, so to speak. We go there on in our kayaks. It's very good for snorkeling. Since nobody goes there, it's really untouched. It's really nice. From there, there's another trail that goes to Serraria. Serraria means a lumber mill. That is forest, you know, tree cutting. A lumber mill. A factory, you could say a place that makes wood planks and so on. But that is from many years ago. So you have some old ruins of where there used to be a lumber mill. And that is a slightly bigger village. You will see it in a moment. They have a school there and everything. Okay? So here you only see this house, but actually up there you can see there's another one. If you go in through over here, you'll find there's several other little houses hidden in the middle of this Atlantic forest here. This is a tropical Atlantic rainforest. Okay? How long are you in by boat? You can see they're rebuilding a boat over there. You see the skeleton of a boat that's being rebuilt.
Oh ja, daar.
See how nice the water is here, nice and clean, good for fishing. Tem bugio, tem o macaco prego também. We have different kinds of apes here. Bugio, which is a big black ape, and it roars, makes a roaring sound. And then we have smaller apes. People groaning, and there are ghosts, and they carry chains and so on. I've been coming here for 20 years and I've never seen or heard anything. But I tell them you're right, it's terrible. Because then the beach is always deserted and nobody comes here. And I can enjoy it better.
Nice.
For those tourists who like nudism, this is the perfect place too. Okay, move on. There's a beautiful lagoon here, fresh water, lots of mussels. You can pick the mussels off of the rocks. Algae, ci fai un bel risotto. You can fish here, it's great. Lovely place, I come here very often. My kayaks, no problem in kayaks. The power boats don't come because of the rocks and the waves.
What?
So here you can see these canoes, all of these canoes, nowadays they have a motor, a center boat, a motor in the center of the boat. This small one here, for example, doesn't. This paddles. All of these boats are made for one tree trunk, a dugout canoe. Just one tree trunk, and they sculpt the boat out of that tree trunk. Even the bigger ones. I'm not talking about the ones with the cabins. I'm talking about these open canoes, okay? Now this is a bigger, as you can see, a bigger community. They have a school here. They have a small place where the doctor comes once a week or so. They bring all their water from the waterfalls, right? Some of these places, they have an electric engine so that they can have some electricity. So some of the houses here actually have TV too. All right. And they all live from fishing as well. Now there's an interesting thing. You've all heard of the Titanic, right? The ship that sank, that supposedly the biggest shipwreck, the biggest number of people who died and so on. Well, here in 1916, on the eve of Carnival, right? 1916, Príncipe dos Asturias, which was a big ship, luxury ship, very much like the Titanic. It was actually a sister ship of the Titanic that was built also in England. it sank here with even more people, but hardly anybody knows that. And a lot of the people that drowned and that were killed there because the ship sank in 5 minutes, a lot of them ended up on this beach. And as a result, up on the hills here, they have a giant cemetery with many, many, many people who died. This is a typical dugout canoe made from one trunk. Even the big ones are like this. They make them themselves here, okay? And a lot of the people had jewelry and so on, and they kept the jewelry like pirates here, you know? They cut off the people's ears, cut off the fingers to get them. Lots of old stories here. There used to be a lumber mill. There are ruins. If you go back along the path here, where the river is, you'll see where there was a giant water wheel, where they cut. They had a conveyor belt, like a belt, with the wheel, and they could cut the wood, and they made planks and so on, so that they could sell the planks for the houses and other things, right? That's why it's called serraria, which means a lumber mill. Praia da Serraria. If you look way over there, you'll see that's Ilha de Búzios, which means Shell Island. Behind that, there are two other islands, Ilha da Vitória. You also have fishing communities living there. And on these islands, you find that they are the remains of the mound people. That is, we have sambaquis, sambaqueiros. They were the very old Indians who used to live off of fishing and shellfish and so on. They lived like that many, many thousands of years ago, up until about 1,900 years ago. Then they all tended to disappear. They only lived along the coast or on these islands. And scientists don't know if there was a giant tsunami or something that ended them suddenly. But what is interesting is that they have these giant, like big hills, where they bury all the people in shells. And they put them in a fetal position. The person, like, you know, when it's like a baby inside the belly, in a fetal position, a little flat rock here, another flat rock at their feet, and any kind of personal belongings like this with them. And they lie them sideways, and they make a little fire, a little ritual. So you see that there is a certain amount of spirituality, religiousness, let's say, even then. And some of these go back 10,000 or more years. And there are 73 such sites on this island together with these other islands, where the archaeologists go and make all their discoveries. And they find stones that they used to use to crush nuts and so on, and other objects that they made, like for cutting with stone and so on. Sambaquis or sambaqueiros, all right? So we call them here. They were the rulers of the coast, of the coastline. Very good swimmers, very good fishermen. And that was it. Okay, so this is another small fishing village, and it's called Praia. Praia means beach. Praia da Fome, Hunger Beach. People say, but I don't know whether that's true, when Príncipe das Açores sank, very few people actually made it out alive. And those few who managed to get on land, it took them several days to come along the coast towards the village, and when they came here they were very, very hungry. So people say that, but I don't know whether that's just a legend. In any case, there's a nice little path that goes from here up to the next beach, Jabaquara, and from there another one, and then you have a road that connects from Jabaquara. So over here you can see this is typical little old colonial house as well, that's been here for many years. And these are all little homes belonging to the people who live here. There are many houses in the back here that you can't even see. Always in behind and so on, they have their different homes. All of them always just bring the water in from the waterfalls. All the water on the island comes from rain. The rain seeps down, and we have many, many different waterfalls. We have 38 different waterfalls here. Lots of streams, because because we have more than 10 peaks of over 1,000 meters high. So all of these people, they just get their fresh water straight out, natural, clean, fresh water from the waterfalls. On the weekends here, usually they also have a small bar where you can have drinks and buy a few things to eat. We have schooners that come in, they stay here an hour and a half, and they go away. If you want to stay overnight, they don't actually have anywhere to stay. There are no places to rent for them that I know of. You could always camp here probably. Well, yeah, we go, when we go in our kayaks and so on, we have different places that we can specifically camp without any problems. And you always have fresh water and all the facilities, you know, basic facilities anyway. All of these places here are good for spearfishing, you know, snorkeling, spearfishing. Okay, can we head on? Oh, by the way, just for you to know, the island underwent three very important cultivations. The first one was sugarcane. That's why they needed slaves. They needed many slaves because it's a labor-intensive, manual labor-intensive occupation. You need many people to cut the cane and so on. And at the same time, right afterwards, they had coffee. Coffee too. You needed a lot of people to do that. When slavery was forbidden, it wasn't economically viable anymore. It wasn't possible to keep up with sugarcane and cachaça and coffee. You needed so many slaves and they didn't have machinery for that. So then the last stage of cultivation was banana. Beach. Bell rock. Why? Because these rocks over here, they're suspended. And there's some kind of mineral in the rock that we don't know what it is. But if you hit the rock with another stone or with a hammer, it makes a sound like a bell. Dong. And depending where you strike the rock, it can be a higher tone or lower tone. So you can play dong, 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 and so on. And this is bell rock where the people are walking over there. At this restaurant over here, you can get a hammer and you can go and bang on the rocks so you can hear the rocks. Now there's a story here that many years ago in 1600 something, two pirate ships were coming in. And during the night, somebody saw them coming. And during the night, as you know, and also over water, sound travels. They have a bell in the village many years ago. They used to have a bell. Anything unusual, if there was a fire, if there were pirates, if a ship was coming, they used to strike the bell. So this person took a rock and started hitting very hard on the rocks. And the people woke up and they came running and they shot at the ships and they managed to send the pirates away. The pirates lost the surprise that they were getting, right? Surprise attack was no longer a surprise attack and they gave up and left. This beach is very nice, very pleasant. You can come here with a family, no big waves or anything. They have a nice little restaurant over here too. And over here, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Gilmar, the famous soccer player. This is his little home over here. He only comes here for the weekends for his friends and family and so on. He has parties of 300 people or so on, and he has many different houses. Looks like a hotel, but actually it's just his weekend home. And he has a shower right on the beach, a little shower and like a pool right on the beach there as well. Gilmar. Over here, just on the other side, we passed very quickly. We used to have whaling stations, you know, where they kill the whales and so on. They killed so many whales. So that beach is called Armação, which actually means like the carcass beach, from so many whale carcasses, skeletons that were left there. And you can see some ruins over there. Many of these beaches have beautiful old ruins from many years ago, from the sugarcane farms, where they used to have the water wheels, or these different constructions. Over here too we had a fish salting works. One of them still works today. I don't know whether you people have heard of Ajinomoto. Ajinomoto is a company, a Japanese company that makes different kinds of sauces, like shoyu and so on. And they get tuna fish, they boil them, and then they smoke them in the houses over here. They smoke the fish, and then it's like a dark, light wood. And they crush that, and they make different sauces and so on. Seasoning for food and other things. So we still have all of these interesting places to visit here on the island as well. Feito.
Feito. Agora vamos almoçar.
Hopes you have enjoyed your trip here, and if you ever intend to return, you can keep him in mind as well. Okay? Thank you very much.
Obrigado.